Salutations everyone, this is What Mattered, and Maxim's Top 100 list came out, and guess who's on top? Not me. Not me. Maybe next year, Kevin. Maybe next year. In a report that came out last week, YouTube, or Google, their parent company, is planning to buy Twitch for $1 billion. Now this has gotten a lot of people talking, and there have been some more details coming in that they're at the infancy and this type of deal, and they don't expect anything to happen soon, but this is something that they want to happen, and you can't really blame them. For those of you who may not know, Twitch is actually the #1 live streaming service in the entire world. If anyone is watching anything live, it's usually Twitch. Twitch accounts for, I think it was 39% of all live streaming services. So that's more than any sport, any fake sport like WWE, or any other like video live streaming vlogging type of website or anything like that. Twitch is the big behemoth, so it's really not surprising that YouTube and Google are trying to, you know, capitalize on that huge domain that Twitch has taken over on the internet and the live streaming service, which has gotten huger and huger as the years go on. To buy them for $1 billion, that seems like a pretty good deal. So some people are like, $1 billion for Twitch? Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. And we'll see what this comes of this deal in the future. A lot of people who are anti-Google and anti-things being bought up and anti-things changing, because it is the internet after all, are really up in arms. They don't want this to happen because they think, you know, bad things will happen to Twitch. Some people think it'll be good for the infrastructure and, you know, all the types of support Twitch will be able to get. But in the end, we'll see. We finally have the title and the logo for the Batman v Superman movie, which is officially titled Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Of course, justice being in there, being, you know, akin to Justice League. Dawn of Justice, the beginning of the Justice League, since, you know, we know that Wonder Woman and Cyborg and all other people are going to be in there. And, you know, hopefully, you know, now that that is taken care of, we'll be able to learn more about the plot, you know, why are Batman and Superman fighting, what's Lex Luthor doing in this movie, and, I mean, obviously, hopefully, it's absolutely fantastic. By the time we get our first look at, you know, a teaser trailer with some, like, actual footage of what it's going to look like and how it's going to play out, is when I think we'll all finally be able to finally make our opinions about this long, churned out story when it comes to the DC movie franchise. And speaking of comic book movies, which I talk about every week actually, I saw X-Men Days of Future Past, the sequel to the much awesome First Class, which was better than X1 or X2. I don't know why everyone loves X2 so much. It's not groundbreaking or amazing in the least, but neither was Spider-Man 2 in retrospect, but people like to hold those two up as high regard for some reason. Anyways, I thought it was fantastic. Easily the best X-Men game ever, and they retconned Brett Ratner's terrible Last Stand film. Like, a movie retconned a series. That's never happened before. Comic books would be proud. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. The story was very good. There's a scene at the end credits which sets up for X-Men Apocalypse, which we all knew about, so let's not pretend I'm spoiling anything here. You get a look at what Apocalypse looks like in the end, kind of like Thanos is revealed at the end of Avengers post-credit scene. So I thought it was a very, very good film. Good casting, good acting, way to, you know, combine the two X-Men franchises from the old and the new, or the new and the old, depending on how you want to put it. And I think they did a fantastic job fixing a franchise that Ratner tried to break with his crappy X3 movie, and they've given us the best X-Men yet, and we might even be getting a better one down the road with X-Men Apocalypse. So, very much looking forward to that, and I highly enjoyed this one. Highly recommended. And in Disney's Marvel's Big Hero 6 finally has a first teaser trailer out, and I thought it was pretty good. It was funny, it was cute. I have no idea what Big Hero 6 is. It's a Marvel property that Disney is making. And it's the first, like, really joint venture of the two, in that Disney's making a Marvel property by themselves. It's not the Marvel studio involved at all. You know, it's animation, kid-friendly. Who knows, you know, what's going to come of it? I think, you know, the trailer looks pretty good. It doesn't, you know, reveal too much about what we should expect from the film. But with Disney's recent track record of animated films, completely crushing Pixar for like 4 years straight now, I think it is, I think that hope should be high just because it's Disney. They are the new king of animation, and hopefully this is another home run for them, and a step towards more Marvel integration of franchises in the future. And in highly unexpected Disney Marvel news, Edgar Wright has left the production of Antman. It came out of nowhere. Apparently they had disagreements with the studio and Mr. Wright about the direction the film should take, so they amicably split ways. And this is highly surprising, being this late, and it hadn't happened at all, because Edgar Wright had always been attached since the inception of the idea of an Ant-Man film. He's been with it the entire way, and to leave it now is rather troublesome, I would say. What were the disagreements? You know, who wanted what and who didn't want what? I mean, it's probably the producers that didn't want something that Edgar Wright wanted, but it's going to be really weird. They said they've already have their new director. They haven't said who it is yet, so we'll probably be learning that in the next couple days or so. But troubling, odd news, but hopefully it works out for the best. Video game news: Far Cry 4 was announced, and we got the look at what's probably going to be the box art, or the first real image of Far Cry 4, and people were like, yeah, Far Cry 4, awesome, because Far Cry 3 was incredible. And then people were like, wait, well, is this racist? Because they saw a white guy subjugating an ethnic guy, and they're like, oh, this is racist. So, here's my 2 cents about that. I mean, first of all, it was cleared up by Far Cry developers that this is not the antagonist, this is the bad guy. Obviously, he looks like a black guy, he's wearing all pink. When has a good guy ever worn all pink or had that kind of a douchey haircut? As you can see, he's not Caucasian. He's not Caucasian. I mean, no Caucasian has that kind of hairstyle or dyed hair, at least as common as they are in, you know, other races. But he's obviously the bad guy, and so what if a bad guy is being an asshole to someone, one of his underlings or whoever that might be in the picture? But I don't see what the big deal is. Bad guys are supposed to be bad. When has that ever stopped villains before? I mean, they're supposed to have character flaws. That's why they're the bad guys. So I really don't understand the uproar in this about like, oh, Far Cry, oh, it's racist, blah, 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 because white people, and it's not even a white guy, but people are still going to stand by what they say just out of pure ignorance, because that's where it stemmed from the first place. So, I mean, I have no problem with it. No one ever should have really problems. It's a video game and it's a villain. Get over it. Sword Art Online Season 2, it has an official date, July 5th, and gets a global premiere date in that everyone gets it at the same time. And it's going to be first premiering at Anime Expo in Los Angeles on July 5th, and then a couple hours later in Japan, and then everyone gets it at the same time, which I think is super awesome. I'm a huge, huge SAO fan myself. It's going to be taking place in Gun Gale storyline, which I think were volumes 5 through 7 in the manga, and I'm just super psyched. It also coincides with the Western release of Sword Art Online Hallow Fragment for the PlayStation Vita. We didn't get the PSP game, so this is SAO's first Western video game release, which is super awesome. I'm very, very pumped about it. It is only a digital release, but you also get the PSP game at the same time for free. It takes place in Ironclad, and I'm just super pumped. Super pumped. It's really hard not to just fangirl all over the place. Minecraft finally gets a release date for current generation systems on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation Vita, all in August. They'll be costing $20. However, if you already have the PS3 or 360 version, you can upgrade to the current gen version for only $5. And if you already have the PlayStation 3 version, you can get the Vita version for free. And all 360 saves, of course, will transfer over to the Xbox One, and all PS3 and Vita saves can transfer over to the PlayStation 4, but not the other way around, because, you know, the size of the new worlds are just too large that they can't go back, only forward, which I don't think anyone really has a problem with. So great news. We finally know when it's coming out, what the prices are going to be. You know, they're rewarding people, earlier adopters on, we're not early adopters on the 360 or PlayStation 3 by any means, but still only $5 to upgrade. That seems like a really tantalizing deal that's going to be really hard to pass up, even if you just play it every now and again. In further Smash Brothers news, they have announced a 30th character. Ike is coming back. He was my favorite character on Brawl, and it's nice to see him back. He's, you know, he's been pumping up since his appearance in Brawl. Japanese fans aren't a big a fan. They're calling him a gorilla. But, I mean, he looks different. He looks older. He looks, you know, beefier. But as long as his moveset is, you know, comparable to as good as it was in Brawl, I got no qualms with it whatsoever. I'm just glad he's back. You know, I'm happy that they have Marth there, but Ike was my favorite guy. I mean, I liked Roy more than Marth, but I don't think Roy's coming back. But Ike, super awesome. I love that he's coming back, and I cannot wait to see more of what his moveset is going to be. It's going to be totally different or similar to what it was in Brawl. Either way, super pumped. Now, if we can just get Meta Knight and Jigglypuff Masahiro Sakurai, then I'm happy. Finally, the Retron 5 has been released after being pushed back time and time again. We were supposed to get it like a year ago. The Retron 5 is finally out. For those of you who don't know, the Retron 5 is a retro gaming console that allows you to play Famicom, Super Famicom, NES, SNES, Sega Master System, Sega Mega Drive, and Sega Genesis, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games, all in $140 console with HDMI outputs. Fantastic. I've been waiting forever for this to finally come out, and out of nowhere they say, oh, it's coming out tomorrow. Sold out instantly, and now they're going to be really hard to find. I can't wait to get my hands on one of these bad boys. It just looks so awesome. The controller isn't very great, I've heard. I mean, it doesn't look very awesome, but you can also plug in any Genesis or NES or Super NES controllers that you have lying around. So that's also great, as well as save states from games that you previously couldn't save in before, with the UI system built in to the Retron 5, as well as all the different graphical updates that you can make it look as bad or as good as you want. It'll look great. You don't need a CRT anymore to get some good old retro gaming action. This has an HDMI. The games look great, and I honestly can't wait, and I just super happy that it's finally out. So the Retron 5 is finally out. Ike is finally in the Super Smash Brothers. What other great news can we have? Half-Life 3 confirmed? Well, maybe. Min Guzman, the creator of Counter-Strike, said that Valve is currently working on Half-Life 3 and Left 4 Dead 3. Just blowing up the internets. People are super excited. He doesn't work for Valve anymore, so he's not an official source, but he says that, you know, he's seen the concept art. He says that they're working on it, that, you know, people kind of already knew that, you know, it's already out there. He says that, yeah, they're working on Half-Life 3. They're working on Left 4 Dead 3. I've seen it, you know, the early works of it. It looks great when he talks about Left 4 Dead. And people, I mean, they should be rejoicing because this seems to be like the most credible source we've seen so far. We've seen, like, you know, certain, like that tour guide snapshot that someone took and just rumors and the joke of Half-Life 3 coming out every single day. But this is the most legitimate source that we've actually heard of anything from Valve when it comes to one of their previous franchises getting another make. And this is probably going to happen. I mean, let's be honest. They're big franchises, they're gonna sell well, and now we're just gonna have to wait on Portal 3, and then the universe ends? I don't know. Something. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. That's all I have for you guys this week. You should subscribe if you want to. One of these happens every Saturday, so you could do that, and links will be in the description of all the stories that I mentioned below, and we'll see you guys next time.